GZA,
DJ Monster,
GZA,
the Almighty, DJ Monster.
The time has come.
GZA,
The time has come.
the genius, GZA, the genius.
The time has come. The time has come.
The Almighty,
The time has come.
DJ Monster.
The time has come.
Grandmaster.
The time has come. The time has come. The time has come. Attention! It's time to strike.
Grandmaster. Great players and many of their followers returned to the classical heritage and discovered new depths of this great classical opening.
Call to arms, the call to arms to draw your swords, to draw your guns.
Those that's bout it, MCs I run with. Those that doubt it, on the mic get done quick. Even if you're left in intensive care, I have to plug Paul before your crew gets there. I'm the one you hate to see, your worst nightmare. While you dream of riding the block, we raise the fear. Enemies get cooked like eggs while they scramble. He lived but he still lost his legs as he gambled. Couldn't sell what he shipped, the shell came from the clip. His lightweight belt had got blown off his hip. No one on the strip had the full explanation, only that the victim had high expectations. Most never pedal above the street level and cut their last deal with the devil just to settle for the crumbs that fell off the plate of the late great who died in the federal state prison behind gates. Those that's bout it, MCs I run with. Those that doubt it, on the mic get done quick. Even if you're left in intensive care, I have to plug Paul before your crew gets there. Those that's bout it, MCs I run with. Those that doubt it, on the mic get done quick. Even if you're left in intensive care, I have to plug Paul before your crew gets there. MCs don't want none of this, so just stop. Got gimmicks with a bunch of facades and just props. Don't take the song seriously, it's just drops for the radio. But you ain't crazy though. I'm on a regular, slaying competitors. I shock journalists, slap magazine editors. Watch the DP as he moved towards me. He's stuck on his wordplay and can't record me. Three-dimensional, visual, bright portraits. Enough in a photo lab not to get caught with. Treason for any reason will only bring about torture. Should've been denying those offers. Ribs broke by pleading the fifth. The fact that the beat came from Muggs was a hell of a gift. So I took the present, sent some to the essence. Like you young MCs who don't escape adolescence. The sword remains in shape with endurance. The blades can be quickly replaced with insurance. It never seems to stop regardless of the tragedies. Hyperactive rhyme slingers with charged batteries. Those that's bout it, MCs I run with. Those that doubt it, on the mic get done quick. Even if you're left in intensive care, I have to plug Paul before your crew gets there. Those that's bout it, MCs I run with. Those that doubt it, on the mic get done quick. Even if you're left in intensive care, I have to plug Paul before your crew gets there. MCs don't want none of this, so just stop. Got gimmicks with a bunch of facades and just props. Don't take the song seriously, it's just drops for the radio. But you ain't crazy though. MCs don't want none of this, so just stop. Got gimmicks with a bunch of facades and just props. Don't take the song seriously, they just drops for the radio. But you ain't crazy though.
at the holy city of Mecca. Wave flannel cologne, crazy ammo get blown. Wherever I sit, son, that is my throne.
You know how we do it, man. Hey yo, pop, pop, pop when it's shots, who's to blame? 3 get dropped, then we move from the game. 1 get knocked, now his whole life is changed, cause he's so far from free in the world that seems strange.
I come from a place where they say death comes too soon, where the hoods on the block dance to a different tune. Every night and every day, hotels of foul play turns fatal in this hostile land of AKs. On any date, not wait the pumping rounds. The reminder it's a murderer's stomping ground. With 1 less witness gunned down in the staircase, who had led his crew but he was moving at a snail's pace. Many suspects, many possible motives, just kept coming with unstoppable explosives. The weak fold in these most extreme conditions, while the rivals quickly strengthened their position. The mission was to move in with sheer brute force, and lives they get lost on a collision course. The streets are fascinating, so they gotta explore it more, but not without walking through some hurricane corridors. Become the most wanted, life that seems haunted. Thugs and agents who work closely up on it. Patriotic hustlers that kill for presidents. Conceal the truth but can't hide the evidence. A man died holding some dice that he was shaking. Had the bank stop but no valuables was taken. Shot at 8:45 but he died at 9. A video was the most precise witness to the crime.
Yo, pop, pop, pop when it's shots, who's to blame? 3 get dropped, then we move from the game. 1 get knocked, now his whole life is changed, cause he's so far from free in the world that seems strange. Pop, pop, pop when it's shots, who's to blame? 3 get dropped, then we move from the game. 1 get knocked, now his whole life is changed, cause he's so far from free in the world that seems strange.
The story had a familiar ring of truth, but it needed a little more tangible proof. He was blown off the map behind an aggravated kidnap. Strap metal everywhere, the bomb was gift wrapped. The problem had became increasingly urgent, since the product was nothing but bags of detergent. In all the years of war, this was the most vicious battling, mainly fought from up close. A bundle burglary, to no surprise, just another sloppy murder that was in disguise. Now they could do nothing but hope and pray that the boys don't come through with the scope and spray. Valuable time comes with the price to pay. Smoke on a deserted street just a mile away, hustling with those cannibals right from the start. That'll rip out your heart and consume the fattest parts. Under the watchful eye of federal agents, collecting cans while they was disguised as vagrants, not knowing that a prisoner had held the key of a co-defendant who was so far from free. Detectives search into a distant past of a young gun who made the block grow fast. Now those ducks who were cooked that came home to roast, the suspects would seek refuge off the coast.
Hey yo, pop, pop, pop when it's shots, who's to blame? 3 get dropped, then we move from the game. 1 get knocked, now his whole life is changed, cause he's so far from free in the world that seems strange. Pop, pop, pop when it's shots, who's to blame? 3 get dropped, then we move from the game. 1 get knocked, now his whole life is changed, cause he's so far from free in the world that seems strange. Hold up, hold it down, hold the fort, nigga, you know what I'm saying? Always a bunch of redcoats coming through. It's all official, all official shit. Bloodhounds thirsty, lurking in the bushes. Yeah.
D4, Knight F6, C4.
Two individuals pulled from a lake inside a vehicle. One had his foot on the brake. The windows was fully up and the doors was locked. The news made the headline and the town was shocked. The driver was clutching a can of high C. His jacket was tied to a nearby tree. His jeans had dye in them. An unusual tattoo was the only hope of identifying him. The autopsies revealed gunshot wounds. Dental records matched to a newlywed groom. This accident was a cover-up for homicide. Two who might have stayed alive from paying bribes. The chief's investigators had relied on the media for help to track down the perpetrators. They canvassed the neighborhood, a standard procedure. and visited the home of a topless skeezer who was at the bar where they was last seen alive. Left with them just 10 minutes after they arrived. Despite the police efforts, they turned up nothing. Just an ex-hooker trying to get a rap from bluffing. But the wide publicity had just paid off from a hard rock inmate who was just made sore. He said he knew a man who killed the pop star and almost got caught by a passing cop car. The inmate said probably the motive was robbery. And knowing this and keeping it a secret, it bothers me. He said this individual killed for low billings and purchased a murder kit blocks from a killing. The sheriff's office had no time to waste, plus the inmate made a deal to avoid the case. So he cooperated fully and snitched on his chop shop mechanic who used to move bodies on the pulley. And extortionists involved in similar incidents. Payments that came in $1,000 increments. Suspicious activities had flooded the place, so they subpoenaed phone records for the cause to trace. The hair that was taken from his car interior was that of a young girl who felt inferior. She died fighting and probably aroused his anger, holding on for life as she faced the strangler. The crime seemed to be sexual in nature. It was substantial evidence that the nigga raped her. The suspects had marks on his face and chest, but it just wasn't enough to get an arrest. Asked of his whereabouts on the 3rd of July. Said he partied with his friends and had a solid alibi. But there's always something left at the scene on a small scale. There's microscopic traces of blood under her fingernails.
Castle queen c2, if black takes on c4, then white could play e4. In many occasions we saw the importance of this tiny move h7 h6 for black defense and counterattack.
I must put in time to get mine, many hours to earn power. Like the ashy hand piece of rear owner that wrote flower. I can't be a broke nigga, bitter and sour. Selling CDs on the corner, sunset, dour. A small fry nigga in the baked potato world. Sizzling in some beef full of grease like Jerry curls. Shout out to DJs who kept it real. Shipped a few $100,000, but some never broke the seal. Fuck them. Stick to college radios, mix shows. Storming university with freestyle, sick flows. Might give a lecture about your rap texture. MC B-boy, DJ / director. The name was a bell that rang through the hall. Popular is the tag on the bathroom stall. Check it. This language is so captivating. When we lose a rap nigga, the news is devastating. Whether to the prison or grave, you know this rap shit was built from the strength of those that hunger and crave. My clan got rhymes for days to be skilled and pays. Most of them can't escape the solar rays.
Black can play h6 immediately, or play his after castle e3 and now h6. Why h6 considered to be...
Name a crew that can stop the force that I strike with, let alone try to hold the pen that I write with. You can even chop off my fingers I type with. Those I hold a mic with, thinking I might quit. They didn't know, that only makes me more determined. It's label for hip-hop, you can ask the Germans. Some say I never got this full recognition, so I dropped another, they shop and still listen. Plus I ran into a well-known musician. He said this sample shit got too many cooks in the kitchen. Now he's back to flipping loved ones and cypher zigs to support his kids. Much even hyper whiz. A bad amigo will stroke your ego. You see the flash on the dash when he blast your Buick Regal. The same brother you was throwing your key to brought the 7 niggas in the building to see you. You know these goddamn streets are so gritty with sour milk from titties that'll spoil the city. The hood cornerback, strong attack is the blitz, but we don't lie down for shit, not even direct hits. From graffiti in New York, on the walls and trains, DJs in California to the shores of Maine.
B-boys on the floor, who be doing the thing to MCs behind ropes who had titles to claim. My team's about shootouts, the fans shout with loud mouths. The clock run out, the ref throw the sign, it's overtime. The rim leaning, visiting team scheming, championship ring fiending, they must be dreaming. These rap players and slayers and got a lot of endorsements. Make them hire law enforcement. Plus, I just turned down tracks, can't remember the producer, but the beats was whack, sound similar. It gotta be exciting, striking, lightning, bring the best out the guard when home. Writing, light stroke from my pen, might choke and take win. Not a little air, then half the spins. MCs be stuck with fear and fascination. The nature and the scale of events shake the station. I stick up the track, armed only with the pen. Terrorize you vocally with the forceful wind. From graffiti in New York, on the walls and trains, DJs in California to the shores of Maine. B-boys on the floor who be doing the thing to MCs behind ropes who had titles to claim. This is hip-hop.
That's what we need to do. If black stays on C4, then white could play C5, and now taking on C5, Queen A5, E5, Knight D5, Bishop takes C4. Knight C3, and then castle.
Attention!
Yeah, special guest appearance from the slums. Yo. Hey yo, I examined your diameter, throw it out like the camera. Be careful, I got 4 ninjas inside your perimeter. Flame burst out all sides like Gamma. My poisonous is released, gas from the canister. Raise the black fist, we keep the earth on its axis. I make a good day move, slow like molasses. Welcome to the beehive, do a processing with the Z5. There's not a tape where this go break, I can't revive. It is high-tech, world of fire wire and microchip. We still keep the 4-5 clip filled with the spiral tip.
I come from the 36 chambers of danger, with many lyrical swordsmen and quick to change ya. The difficulty to see closely is mostly, it's a critical point when your rap niggas approach me like the blind deaf dumb who mind was left numb. A non-beat boy nigga couldn't rhyme to the drum. When I started MCing, I entered the gates of pleasure, not knowing I'll be coming with too much to measure. With the math of an elder and the steel of a welder, the path of trade that I had laid down and held a blueprint that would draw attention like the Pope. I examined all with the internal mirror of the scope.
Supreme deluxe edition, cream with a touch of wisdom. Beans that disrupt the system, strings I conduct you listen. How you gonna tell me no, yo, the fuck you isn't? Locked in the 4-block radius like a public prison. 22-year-old thug ain't got a cup of pissing, but he got a bottle gun and that's knuckle twitching. And he got a baby moms and a cousin bitchin'. With the catch a body, now he's stuck in another prison.
When you see it, you better acknowledge it. All swords, blaze of green, 104s. Pull out on you, blew you for the cause. In Sudan, oust the nigga. Seclude you from my plan, this is water Glock. Aces on camera sniffing raw. Why try to fuck with these lecturers? I'm so high powered, my electrical structure blew down the floor. You was king for a second, I reigned. Came with a different name, the WTC, family and more. One.
Van a morir todos, atrás de la pistola mía, para que sepan mis enemigos están muertos.
They applause when I make my entrance. I move on them with age and experience before I start the sentence. The rhyme was designed to meet most of man, with enough to compensate, fertilize the land. We blew out the belt drive, MCs they felt vibes, powerful darts, narrowly missing the whole tribe. Scientists look at the magnitude of devastation, but the strands of heavy metal seem to have no relation. But it's always potential for large-scale disasters, because the instrumental spins 100 times faster. Many was taken, just at the price of a pawn, and the collective loss had left 1,000 or more. Them Klansmen are the nucleus of hip-hop. There's no room forever, MCs will get dropped. Evidence of terrifying threats from heat pressure, powered by strong winds that blew rhymes off the dresser. The word spread through the town from Yonkers to Lefferts, is to kill off the slang was a citywide effort. But they couldn't be more wrong, my clique was all strong, fit together seamlessly till you're all gone.
Pa' que sepas, esta guerra no es de ayer, ni de mañana, pero es de hoy, y para el futuro, y por vida. Mis soldados marcharán conmigo hasta la muerte. Todos los que no le gustan, hasta el lado, porque yo vengo fuerte con mis palabras. Y quiero que sepan, aquí yo voy a dominar
far is the strongest piece. She too should not be prematurely brought into play during the opening, for she will be attacked by weaker pieces and driven back. It is very dangerous to make a raid with the queen early on in the game. It is best, in the opening, to make but one move with the queen, and that to a square where she is not exposed to any direct or indirect attack.
Jolly green giants that flew on jets, an A-list actress who has never walked off sets. She loved stuffed animals, especially bears. Was a role model like a cardinal to her peers. A patriotic tomboy like Mary Ellen from the Waltons. And former lifeguard who had the skills of a dolphin. When I met her, she was in drama school and wore bangles. Drove a Bronco and she was far from star-spangled. Had basic skills and worked part-time in mills. Raised buffaloes, plus she was behind in bills. Had a man who always roared like lions. A domestic violent cat who tackled the girl and kept her crying. Couldn't care, she was losing her hair from depression. She was in the air and there was some room for interceptions. I told her to stay strong, not to be ashamed. You're a 10 IC, just need to tighten your game. Her ancestors were chiefs who ran with running deer. They sailed with the Seahawks who battled the Buccaneers. Their redskin garments were suede coat liners. Held rare coins frequently sought from gold miners. They were hard-working warriors, we call overtimers. Shot plenty arrows at cowboys and 49ers. An interesting background, but quite unusual. Great for a script, but out of bounds for a musical. She told me to call her if I came to town. I started texting her soon as my plane to touch down. Holding my luggage in the hand that revealed the bad scars. She pulled up at arrivals driving a Jaguar. Her brown skin was soft, her legs beautifully shaven. The house was fly, sitting on the roof was a raven. As we entered, I heard laughter. She walked into a large living room. I went after, and there was two of her girlfriends playing chess like they were Vikings. Militant as Panthers, their resemblance was striking. Hat on thongs, high heels and belts that was garters. Energized like phones that just came off the charger. I introduced myself to gain yardage, cause anything less than smooth would have been straight up garbage. The shorter one met me when I had a sky pager. Thought I rolled with robbers, stealers, and panty raiders. She picked fruit from the orange bowl, it was in season. One of them said she loved the juice and kept squeezing. I knew that I was gonna get wine and dine. It would have been a penalty not to pass the scrimmage line. Now I'm laid back and relaxed, waiting for the kickoff. One removed the lip gloss like she was about to lick off. She caressed me with fingertips soft as velvet, dying for me to pack her as she stroked my helmet. And I was thinking these girls were saints, but it was 1st and 10 and there was extra walls to paint. Before you know it, I had all three in a huddle, bucking like a colt before I released them puddles. They spread eagles like wide receivers as I ran them in the end zone, and they became true believers.
I play chess, man. Chess is crazy right there. That's the ultimate. It's like a great high right there. Playing chess, controlling the board, pieces, the squares, the movement, war, capturing, thinking, strategy, planning. It's music, it's hip hop, it's sports, it's life, it's reality.
Yo, check this out. My name is the old dirty bastard, you know what I'm saying? When I run, when I get down for my crown, I come out crazy like a tiger or something, you know what I'm saying? Nobody can't even F with me. Straight up and down. You know what I'm saying? So that's how we coming, you know what I'm saying?
From the heart of Medina to the head, to the east, to the plaza houses, aka the mountain, to the rugged lands of Shaolin. Yo, we rock all it together now. Got paid, got fresh.
The world was bugging off this Wu-Tang nigga on the rock. That was just another spot on the motherfucking block. You forgot cash rule, nigga. Talk 7 figures, he pull a trigger to make that account. Get bigger, had babies to feed, kept a bitch with need. 1,000 shows booked, promoters on speed. His hands was in everything, including some pussy from the Brazilian wax to the uncombed bushy and downstate psychiatric. We tried to put a code on his brain till he cracked it. Now the media wanna view him like they knew him, and his head nurse wanna sue him cause she blew him. Ever since he walked on stage, he was just a loose cannon. Wild, drunk, staggering nigga who kept standing. Class clown who erased chalk from the board. The only choir member that sing off chord. We were all in together now. Kept it balanced, stay dressed for the weather now. Battled MCs anywhere, whatever town, and remain victorious on any ground. All in together now. Kept it balanced, stay dressed for the weather now. Battled MCs anywhere, whatever town, and remain victorious on any ground. The all in together now started in Bed-Stuy. Human beatbox specialist who dress fly. A half-ounce of blow and a 40-ounce drinker. Magnificent flow, critical thinker. Unique as 1 grain of sand from the beach and had bitches eating out of his hand. He was intelligent, his style was relevant. I can name 10 niggas that stole an element. From the high-speed chase to the court arraignments, all of the above was entertainment. He caused earthquakes just from experiments. Some thoughts got lost not knowing where it went. His songs had a rep for many inducements, giving birth to new styles after recruitments. There's no replacement or any supplement. He was a New Testament. What he said, what he meant. We were all in together now. Kept it balanced, stay dressed for the weather now. Battled MCs anywhere, whatever town, and remain victorious on any ground. All in together now. Kept it balanced, stay dressed for the weather now. Battled MCs anywhere, whatever town, and remain victorious on any ground. The judge took a look at Heat and threw the book at thee. The sentencing would've made the average crook happy. They put him in a box wrapped like a gift, in a straight jacket, watched by 2 who worked the shift. Gave him no phone call, saw no sunlight, like Billy the Kid in his last gunfight. His days became weeks, weeks became months. Carved the calendar on the wall with his fronts. His food pushed in the trays that was shoved in the cell, while hands covered with latex gloves. The cooks in the kitchen had laced his drinks. The wild-ass physician, they was off the brinks. He got visit from shrinks who came in with ink blocks, moving with their own plot, but the dirty think not. He had nothing but time on his hands, as if he got a sign from the clan. We were all in together now. Kept it balanced, stay dressed for the weather now. Battled MCs anywhere, whatever town, and remain victorious on any ground. All in together now. Kept it balanced, stay dressed for the weather now. Battled MCs anywhere, whatever town, and remain victorious on any ground.
All in together now. Together now. All is together now.
Now, White doesn't really want to use up his few remaining pawn moves, so he plays king to e2.
Come on. This is hip hop. MCs get busy, it's not pop. You're frontin', you get dropped. Listening to slanged out goodies and Timberlands and hoodies, but the rhythm that came from the streets. I was a young one at the time, I started mic tripping. Had rhythm like Ali when he was rope skipping. I got crazy when I heard the breakbeat. I used to lose it on niggas on 4th and 8th Street. They couldn't stop the attack once I moved forward. Many was drawn back, the salt would seem awkward. Only on with the bow and a mad flow. Poisonous arrows on a mark that was set to go. Traveling at high speeds towards a target. I never hit bystanders in crowded markets. Documenters catch this most intimate footage. In the center they come close, label it the hoodage. Remarkable clips of an uncut episode. They was given a safe but never was left the code. Close up of those who have paved the road. Invincible armor like the nigga we call a toe. This is hip hop. MCs get busy, it's not pop. You're frontin', you get dropped. You're listening to slanged out goodies and Timberlands and hoodies with the rhythm that came from the streets. This is hip hop. MCs get busy, it's not pop. You're frontin', you get dropped. You're listening to slanged out goodies and Timberlands and hoodies with the rhythm that came from the streets.
Havoc on the block, shots from the ratchet sizzle pop. Slugs spinning out of control, bodies drop. You know the singing in the hood, fuck the cops. Certified on the clock, young ducks with metal blocks. It takes place on the planet, the rocks take nothing for granted. Raised by these thieves and bandits, the enchanted. Sticky green keeps my eyes slanted. Hard times coming up in the ghetto, but the sun managed. Watch we take advantage, get it, spit it panoramic. The notes I quote, water like the great Atlantic. Never catch me frantic, swift with the antics. Bitch niggas panic, snippets, they run rampant. Son of a man, son of the sun, son of a gun. Bred it from the slums of each one and teach one. What's done is done, son, the game is made. Stay sharp like Swiss blades, continue to get paid.
This is hip hop. MCs get busy, it's not pop. You're frontin', you get dropped. You're listening to slanged out goodies and Timberlands and hoodies with the rhythm that came from the streets.
You know a motherfucking hit when it split your wig back. Young Gatlin, strapping a 38 revolver, it's going down. Wait for the sound, my soldiers rally round. Ninja men blending in with the surrounding. Enough gunmen, enough flatbush yardmen strapped with the vest. No pussy test to guard, the grounds is well held. Illegal desert eagle, cadaver dog search for the body that's lost. Of course it's BK, you heard niggas got killed for sheep coats and thick ropes. Legendary streets that sold coke, some blocks that still hot from shots popped back in 88. The Black Gate was sun-laid, never made the paper, just another caper pulled by a mass killer, broad daylight. Crown Heights, summer Fahrenheit, heat blazing. Cops on the beat, stop the money flow of the street. My dough is whole wheat, the fam gotta eat.
This is hip hop. MCs get busy, it's not pop. You're frontin', you get dropped. You're listening to slanged out goodies and Timberlands and hoodies with the rhythm that came from the streets. This is hip hop. MCs get busy, it's not pop. You're frontin', you get dropped. You're listening to slanged out goodies and Timberlands and hoodies with the rhythm that came from the streets.
Come on,
this is hip hop.
come on,
Come on, this is hip hop.
come on,
Come on, this is hip hop.
come on,
Come on, this is hip hop.
come on.
Come on, this is hip hop. Come on.
We will drive them to the limit, drive the invading forces to the limit where they lose their patience and they will lose their hope. And the day will come where they are driven down to their lowest level and give up. This is the first time we've heard the official articulate how they plan to try and win. They plan to try and do it here by making sure that they loses its patience, that the troops lose their hope, that their morale is driven to its lowest level.
Due to the hellish events, the days were numbered. Agitated and withdrawn, the addicts wonder. Moving through eternal hell, constantly beaming. In the grips of evil, wrestling with their own demons. An ordinary ride, extraordinary challenge. Back and forth between worlds that was very hard to balance. Where the shots got louder, witnesses kept silent. Through those sweltering days of the summer that stayed violent. Soldiers that appeal to the boss' desire. Captivated by the idea of speed and quick to fire. Plus his orders came in a commanding tone. Carried out, executed within a battle zone. Action spoke louder than words that made them walk. Cause these kids had came with more music than less talk. Thinking that day was bigger than you as steel. They couldn't close the deal without a captive pill, unless the atmosphere was exceptionally calm. But unanswered questions brought harm from firearms. Each chilling encounter horrific in its own way. A groundbreaking case that lasted for another day.
Fast money, expensive cars, topless bars, movie stars, and executives with fat cigars. Record labels that ain't stable with low appraisals, and a lot of burned bridges due to fragile cables.
Quite often, unpredictable things can happen. Well aware of the sudden danger, they start scrapping. Violence can erupt within the blink of an eye, as a 3-night reign of terror light up the skies. Other uprisings are in the years of making. The young start sizing up the hood and get to taking. A high voltage power line surrounds the gold mine. Soldiers on the front line who sell dimes and whole nines, many times enjoying themselves much too much to hit the clutch before they pull out on such and such. It's a very unforgiving environment, cause 1 out of 2, they get an early retirement. For many different reasons, the tell of the tape is uneven. What they perceive as a prank had stopped them from breathing. He was known to run towns and brutally gunned down. They said it was a great risk for him to be around.
City of fast money, expensive cars, topless bars, movie stars, and executives with fat cigars. Record labels that ain't stable with low appraisals, and a lot of burned bridges due to fragile cables.
When I whet my flashing sword, and my hand takes hold on judgment, I will take vengeance upon mine enemies, and I will repay those who hate me.
When you got bass all in your face, subwoofers pumping all throughout the place. A fake rap nigga trying to plead his case. It's about to be a catastrophe. And if you got beehives right before your eyes, about to start shit that attract the flies, and then you hear lies followed by some cries, it's about to be a catastrophe.
Half these rap lyrics ain't thought-provoked, just a lot of beef until they get caught in smoke. But the problem is never cured. On top of that, most of them be swing a while and then drop the bat. Many curious spectators watch the human drama. This rap cat was all on the street without his armor. A homicidal attempt that had failed. He flew off the roof on a fence and got impaled. He talked a good one, but it was make-believe, much too low for the human ear to perceive. He confused science fiction with science facts and couldn't separate the block from the recorded tracks. You need a rhyme with a tactic, gotta work your magic. Detailed and graphic, or the outcome is tragic. Something built to a complex network with a panoramic vision designed by experts. I be the icebreaker for your unskilled skaters. I increase the heat significantly just on paper.
When you got bass all in your face, subwoofers pumping all throughout the place. A fake rap nigga trying to plead his case. It's about to be a catastrophe. And if you got beehives right before your eyes, about to start shit that attract the flies, and then you hear lies followed by some cries, it's about to be a catastrophe.
No matter what, I'm throwing an illa dart. I can lay a verse that'll soften a killer's heart. This fire's a 5-alarm blaze, it's too hot to be holding. You feel the heat once the flames tongue licks your clothing. What some talk about have little or no bearing. Put it next to some real shit that's far from comparing. Materialistic MCs come off boring. Meanwhile, I be sketching up composite drawings through the years and countless number of victories. Changing the era, we swarm unpredictably. A rhyme book is not difficult to manage. I leave a mic in the bandage from catastrophic damage. Got niggas on the trip that'll steal your sandwich, so I keep the visual portraits left on canvas. I made it through the worst extremes of cold weather. Scuffed up but remain durable as old leather. When I hold the pen, you feel the wrist of polar wind. Something like Jesus when he civilized older men. The math has shed light all across the borders, and my wisdom was the vast expanse of fresh waters. When you got bass all in your face, subwoofers pumping all throughout the place. A fake rap nigga trying to plead his case. It's about to be a catastrophe. And if you got beehives right before your eyes, about to start shit that attract the flies, and then you hear lies followed by some cries. It's about to be a catastrophe.
Because we are lyrical assassins and we are aware that the tongue is symbolic to the sword. Lyrical assassins. Lyrical assassins. The sword style.
The procedure is: check with the knight, move the knight away to deliver a discovered check from the queen, then sacrifice the queen to force the rook next to the king, then mate with the knight.
Gun.
His autobiography had came to an end, with the final chapter written in blood upon his skin from snakes that was dirty as rodents. Therefore, to a starving one, the call for hunger is potent. Some kids at a young age, their skull is fractured, their mind stored the sickest images ever captured. They draw pistols to resolve issues. They give them a sense of closure to expose the brain tissue. The shells was evidence of a violent event that left a young dealer bent from 100 rounds spent. The lifestyle is 1,000 miles from a minister. A small con game or something far more sinister. Peer pressure gotta move you faster. A paradise of temptation, open the gates of disaster. And murder is not the only cold-blooded crime. You got fiends that'll torture the kings to get a dime. Empty your pockets, nigga, and don't move. You react any other way, and they'll prove. Cause they ain't got a problem with laying your ass out or putting in work so you can see what it's about. Money got the flow, nigga, and don't stop. Whether drugs or a hoe, nigga, stay on top. Cause they don't have a problem with running up in your house and burning it to the ground after the shit is doused. I told him to save his breath, cause he hovered on the brink of death. He wasn't living right before he left. His life took an unexpected turn. For those who walk that path, there's a lesson to learn. Coming from a nesting ground of those on the ground, in a state of darkness, menacing on the prowl. Local rivals are known competitors who try to stay clear from the spying eyes of predators. On the hunt, they constantly taught persistence. Those with less heart keep a respectful distance. The prey know it's too hot to lay in the street. They find shaded areas a few feet from the heat. Cause if not, then it will be costing one who will soon evaporate under a scorching sun. Cause when the drought is on, there's little left. Then what lies ahead? Dehydration and eventual death. Empty your pockets, nigga, and don't move. You react any other way, and they'll prove. Cause they ain't got a problem with laying your ass out or putting in work so you can see what it's about. Money got the flow, nigga, and don't stop. Whether drugs or a hoe, nigga, stay on top. Cause they don't have a problem with running up in your house and burning it to the ground after the shit is doused.
do music from the heart and not from the charts.